So he took in e6, okay, takes in e6. Now you have to go away with the rook. Yeah. Knight c5. Rook e3, and now very strong move, e5, Goes. Now white is forced to take in e5, and you lose the important pawn from d6. And if you lose the important pawn from d6, we have a position where black is pawn up, and very strong knight on c5, very weak bishop on f3. Position is lost for white,
Yes.
Yeah.
Suddenly everything changed.
Yeah.
In Bobby's favor.
Yeah, right. Takes, and takes in d5, and d6.
Problem solved.
Now it's clear. We have the middle game, much better for black, pawn up, and stronger knight, and majority on the queen side, and the weak structure on the king side. h3 and f2 is a bad structure.
Yes, they are isolated pawns, all of them.
So it's clear. Starting from here, white has to try to, to limit the black's possibilities and try to play for a draw. Black is trying to play for a win, of course, has a winning position. Yeah. Takes. Yeah. Bishop g4, the only move. Rook c7. Rook e1. Maybe it was a little bit better to take immediately in d7, but he wasn't sure that the chances for draw are real or not, because the end game is not very pleasant for white anyway, with pawn down. Yeah. But now is even worse, because the knight, now we can see the difference. A very strong knight there, and the weaker bishop on g4. Now he tries to have a small fortress with white, but it's very difficult. The position must be lost. If they play well, both of them, black must win. Rook c3, and now he goes back with the bishop from g4 to d1 and then to c2 and tries to defend this very difficult position.
To defend
he has to wait. Why he has to wait only?
So the plan for the black should be to push
he tries to come, to push the pawns, and maybe realize later on the pawn up. Yeah. King f6, king g6, queen g5, okay. And now, in my opinion, and everybody else, a lot of years afterwards, everybody criticized the next move from black, which gives some chances for white to save the game. Here he played knight e4 check. Why accept to trade the very strong knight for the weak bishop, Instead of this, he could play really a5, for instance, which is very good.
So improve a little bit.
Yeah, improved. Come a little bit, You have advantage everywhere,
Yeah.
Even the move h5 probably is also very good, Because white can do nothing. After knight e4, white has a small possibility maybe to save, the game. Also difficult, but okay, yeah. Now he took. And now Botvinnik himself, who recognized that he was lost during the game, here he said that it was much better, and it was true, it was much better to play immediately rook c7. After this move, white probably could lose again after rook a3, the moves he played in the game. So it was much better rook c7, immediately to attack twice in h7 and a7. And he wasn't sure that after rook a4, rook takes h7, rook takes a2, he could save. With two passed pawns connected, it's difficult to see if it's draw or not. And now he played rook a3, and after rook a3, probably he was lost again. It was the last moment where black could have a clear advantage. Instead of rook e7, he played the normal move, rook e7.
Yes.
But it was much better to play a5 here.
A5?
A5, yeah. And after a5, rook b3, for instance. A5, rook b3, rook b4. And after rook b4, the position is more or less zugzwang and must be winning for black. Okay, now in our game, after rook e7, black is better, but it's still difficult, very difficult to win. Rook f3, rook a4.
Because
And
black is
here
more
was-
passive, right? Here or
No, he has a pawn up, but it's very difficult to improve, you know. Yeah. There are some exceptional positions where without a pawn you can still have a draw, you know. And therefore in the game it happened like this, you know.
yeah.
Here or a few moves later, they adjourned the game and they continued next morning. So they had the whole night to analyze, and the whole Soviet team analyzed very well. And finally, they could find a position where he could have a good chance to make a draw. And finally, the game was drawn later on. You know.
How many hours they played so far?
They played 5 hours before. I mean, that was the rule
up
then.
to, yes.
Yeah. And then they had to adjourn, and the next morning they continued.
How many hours they can?
Probably again 3 or 5.
Okay, so like a new game almost.
Yeah, of course.
And so the Soviets, they had a lot of grandmasters.
No, the whole team,
the whole team.
Everybody analyzed, and Bobby, as always, was alone. You know,
by himself.
By himself, yeah.
Because
but it didn't count. If the position was clearly won, Bobby would win, of course. But it wasn't very clear. It was White had already a small chance to save the game right here, you know. So he couldn't find a clear win, and finally he could save. Maybe in meantime, somewhere, Black could play first h5 and then continue like this in the game, you know, because we'll see this tempo saved White's chances to make a draw, you know, the possibility to take immediately the pawn from h7. But probably he thought that position is still winning because the two connected pawns are still very dangerous. You
yes.
know? Yeah. Check. Yeah. And now, of course, king f3 is forced because if you take in g6, you lose the rook, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, e5. He tries to give the pawn somehow there and come very quickly with the pawn on the queen side, you know. h5. It was a very good move because he has himself a small chance. If you take in h5, rook g5 check, and he can take or in h6, or in h5, or in b5, and then is draw, you know. Yeah. If finally
I guess important point to
h5 is very good move. Yes, h5. Yeah. Probably the move will save the game. And now king g2. Again, White has to stay in a passive position. Check. Yeah. And now it's almost impossible to win because the pawns are very weak, you know, a7 and h5. You can't push the pawns, you know, far enough to win without your king. This is the problem. But even if the king is very near of this game, I mean, very near on the queen side or king side or something, it's impossible to win with one pawn, you know. And finally, they continued a few moves, but they agreed to a draw finally.
Because everyone has almost a pass pawn.
Well, they continued, but the advantage is too small, you know.
But Bobby tried.
Bobby tried, of course, yes. But it's a little bit too late. He escaped the advantage before, you know.
Yes, and here is a...
Here they agreed to a draw, yeah. No, he was a little bit lucky, Botvinnik, let's say, you know. But it was Bobby's fault because he underestimated a little bit the chances of his opponent. And finally, he let him escape. It was, in my opinion, was lack of experience, you know. If Bobby had more experience, if they could play this game, this kind of game, a little bit later when he had a lot of experience, he would win without any problem. Yeah.